it is Natalie with Soilcloth Wine, and I'm back for my second Perfect Pairings. This time I'm doing another white, even though for me, reds are generally my preference. But I'm really excited because the white that I've chosen for today is a Marsanne. So this is a grape varietal that you would generally see in a Marsanne-Roussanne blend, things coming out of Hermitage, Crozes Hermitage, and Saint Joseph. But this is actually coming from Lake Chelan. It comes from Lake Chelan, from Cairdeas Winery, and they actually have this sourced from a vineyard in Yakima Valley, the Bushy Vineyard, I think it was. I'll put it right here. Anyway, so they made this wine, and I'm really excited to try and find a pairing for it because it poses a little bit of a challenge. So the challenge of Perfect Pairings is that I've only generally tried the wine once at a tasting room, and so I have to really rely on my tasting notes, even though I'm kind of a novice with tasting, and then I have to look into the varietal. So the way I'm thinking about this wine is the fact that a lot of people will describe this wine as flabby when it comes from a more vigorous climate. So that means higher rainfall, higher temperatures, less of a diurnal shift, which is responsible a lot for the acid component in wines. The higher the diurnal shift, the higher the acid is a typical way of thinking about it. So I had to think about that. And then I also had to think about the soil type. So in Hermitage, we're looking at granitic soils, and in the Washington area, it has a silty loam soil. So there are different factors in the Washington area that are going to increase the acid, but could potentially increase the flavors that are considered maybe a little bit more flabby, but it really are just more tropical, more ripe, things moving away from summer fruit like what we would expect from the Hermitage climate, things towards mango and pineapple and peaches, which is a summer fruit, but it's a more ripe one. So that's what I'm thinking that this Marsanne is going to be a little bit more like, and I'm expecting it to have the higher acid because I really liked it in the tasting room and I really like high acid. So those are the things I'm trying to think about when I'm pairing. So now I gotta think of something. I saw a couple people on the internet pair with chicken, but a lot of my family has dietary restrictions. We have vegetarians and no garlics and no dairies and no fats and no sugars people. So it's just, that's what I'm considering because it's always for the family. So, you know, these are the things I'm gonna go and look at the back of the label and go see what I can come up with.
Yeah. We're getting this one because it's a little bit nippy. Okay, and we settled on actually using the ruby red trout fillet because it just looks like it's going to be really rich in flavor. It's the type of thing where, like grapes, if it grows slower, it's probably going to be a little bit more concentrated than something that was a farm-raised giant hunk of salmon. So that's my logic. I'm using grapevine logic on my salmon selection, or in this case, trout selection. Okay, we'll see how it goes. Alright, so we just returned from the farmer's market and I'm getting ready to prepare, sorry that's the turkey in the back, I'm getting ready to prepare the two dishes that I'm going to be making today. So one of them is Japanese, that we're going to be taking the wonderful Bristol Farms, what is this, trout, ruby red trout, and one of them is going to be done with Japanese style stuff. So we're using a sour plum powder and a miso paste. We're gonna put that as the seasoning on this one, and then that's gonna be paired with some of the snap peas that I got at the farmer's market, and they're going to be kind of with the smoked shoyu dressing, which is gonna be really tasty. Second one that we've got is like a frise salad type of deal, and it's gonna be going with, again, the same type of fish, so that whatever this was, ruby red trout, and then a beurre blanc, and that salad. I've got some microgreens, I got some radishes of different colors which I might throw into both. They're a little bit spicy, so I'm a little bit worried about sticking them in, only because I want those characteristics of nuts and spice that could possibly be in this Marsanne to come out a little bit more. So let's see how it goes. All right, so first up, we're going to go ahead and cut some of these sweet potatoes that are gonna be going in the frisee salad. We're just gonna slice them up like this, and then I'm gonna put them into the oven with just some really simple olive oil and salt and pepper. Over here I also have the frisee salad. It's got a couple of little like edible flowers and stuff, and one of the cool things is growing right behind me is nasturtiums, so I'm just gonna add them. Because I haven't added any like sauces to it yet, I can do this because the things won't get all crushed up, and I can pick some different colors if I want. Boom. Nasturtiums also have a little bit of a bite, and so that's gonna be kind of fun to play with. Oh my gosh. And I just keep it in the plastic bag so I can add the sauce that I want to make it with, which I still haven't decided upon planning on doing. And then for the beurre blanc, I've got this. I got Kerrygold salt. That's all gonna be going in there. Is also a little bit of white vinegar. I'm just using Heinz. It really doesn't matter if you. That was probably a little bit too much. So lucky we're in the garden. We can just do that. Sweet. All right. And then a pinch of salt. There we are. Nice. And also, I picked from our garden a Meyer lemon. Great thing about doing this in a garden is I just take that and into the compost pile. And I just put the seeds right back into the garden. Everyone should cook outdoors. This is so much easier. Skabloop. Scoop up that seed. All right, so now we're going on to number 2. This over here is I have some soybean paste and some sour plum powder. A sweet sake for cooking. This one-handed. Oh my gosh. Hey, screw cap, one-handed, nice. So now we're moving on to the snap peas that are going to go with that. The ends of snap peas are gross to my parents, and they're going to be sharing this meal with me, so we're just going to cut those all off. It has a lot of flavor, and I'm really intrigued to see how this kind of thing, these salty flavors, so from the miso and from the shoyu, help to enhance some of the more fruit qualities of the Marsanne and diminish some of those bitter qualities that I personally don't like. So, onwards. And I realized that somebody's gonna ask me the proportions of like what I have in here, the vinegar, the salt, and the butter, but I don't actually know because I don't really do cooking. I do it as a hobby. My main interest in wine is microbes and the interactions with vines, so this is not really my forte. It's just me wanting to like share with people other than my family the wines that I have and the things I'm making with it. Okay, so the things are in the oven and I'm gonna start preparing some of the other stuff that's going to go with it. But it's very hot and I'm trying to not take a break in the pool. Forget what I bought, but it's really tasty, and that's gonna go on top. Not too much of it, but quite a bit. Oh, hell yeah. So today I have a Cairdeas Winery Marsanne that was gifted to me. So I have cooked up a whole bunch of things, and I filmed that earlier today, that I'm hopefully going to pair with this wine. That's the whole idea. So basically, I've separated this out into 2 different things. So there's this whole assortment of the snap peas, which are in sesame oil, and this over here, which is miso and salmon and a whole bunch of delicious stuff. So those 2 go together, and then you're gonna taste that, taste the wine, and then you're going to try this one here, which is salmon with dill, and it's really lightly seasoned, and it goes with this salad here, and the beurre blanc can go on that. You have your own one because of the flour. And so then taste it with this wine again, and the idea is to figure out which one is the best in terms of trying to find the perfect pairing for this wine. So sling me your glasses. So the reason that I chose these 2 particular pairings is that this one is meant to be more umami and is more salty, and this one is more oily and buttery and citrusy, and so we're trying to see how those 2 very different profiles interact with this wine and make it better or worse. So I'll look forward to hearing your opinions. Okay, I'm trying the second part. So I don't think it works well with the sesame oil. I think it makes it It enhances some of the like barrel
You're saying
characteristics.
The beans have the sesame oil?
The beans do have sesame oil.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice. I like it with beans.
I
I like it with salad. Salad number one.
Okay, but why do you like it with the beans? For what reasons? Like what? How does the flavor change for you? Snuck away for a couple minutes, but so far everybody's opinions are that the bitterness in the wine is unfavorable, and the things of my selection that take away from that are the frise, that particular the green that I have in that one salad, and they noticed that that characteristic of the bitterness was actually more enhanced by the fact that I roasted the snap peas in sesame oil. So that's one thing. The other thing is the enhancement of those fruit flavors and those like stone fruit, like really sexy qualities, and those things are being enhanced by, a lot of people have said, the umami in the miso. And then also general consensus is that with that beurre blanc that I've made and the dill and the citrus that's in it, and the salmon at the same time is really, really enhancing these like beautiful and very subtle fruit characteristics in the wine. And I have to agree, the wine by itself is absolutely exceptional. It has this incredible aroma of like candied orange peel, maybe like a little bit of honey, like this like orange blossoms. It's gorgeous. So I'm really excited to go back and get to my glass. We'll see what everybody has to say.
I like it with the salad and the first
Salad and the
trout, the one with the sauce. That one is my favorite. I think because
So we tasted through everything, and the winner was the citrus
Citrus
salad
salad.
and dilled red trout.
Red trout.
Dill red trout.
Definitely a winner.
Yum! Beautiful.
Miss Van won it.
You should be tilted to a 45-degree angle.
Very up in Lake Chelan, Lake Chelan, however you want to pronounce it. So sorry.
What's the barbecue sauce on the fish?
It's not barbecue sauce, it's miso. Oh my gosh. Okay, so apparently I've been getting the name wrong. I also picked up another bottle from Cairdeas. Great thing about doing this in a garden is I just take that and into the compost pile.